Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry it's been a few months, it's been a chaotic few months. So as you can see here in the video, Rita has joined us. She's made her final journey at 75,000 miles. Quite literally at 75,000 miles. I couldn't believe it myself. But yeah, the engine hasn't popped. She's just started overheating, so I'm guessing it's thermostat, something like that, maybe water pump's frozen. But as you've probably seen if you've been on our forums, she's had a lot done to her now. She's had forks, she's had drivetrain, and it just goes on, and I'm wrenching every week outside of work to fix her. So as you are aware, if you've been watching my videos, we've got a 21,000 mile Forza sat here, just on a different frame. Well, obviously the other V5 for this one turned up the other day to confirm the engine swap off that frame. So it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, it's a painful decision for me. Rita's done a lot for me. She's helped me a lot, you know, without going into too much detail. But yeah, I think it's now time to strip it down. You know, thank you very much, Rita, you've done very well, darling. And try and recommission this one that we have been trying, but this is the reason why the delay in the videos. The problem is Rita's, but the problem is this has been my work bike, this is my vehicle. So every time she's demanded something like the forks, I have to rob them off this. I think the stanchion legs came off my parts one, but the actual whole stem, whatever, came off this. And that's the thing. And also it's been taking the drivetrain, so obviously it leaves it driverless. And you can't go and replace that new from Honda because it's just too prohibitively expensive. So I've sort of had to wait for this moment, if that makes sense, for her to finally say, I can't do anymore. And I have to also look at it financially and say, yeah, okay, maybe it's time. So, I mean, as I say, I mean, if you have watched the forums, the difficult part about her braking at the time, with this being in the condition it is, was a bit problematic for me. Thankfully, things came forward and I did get another 2017 Forza exactly like this for the time being. So theoretically there's 1, 2, 3.5 Forzas here, minus an engine and a few other bits. So yeah, I mean, panel wise, Rita for her age is not bad. She has got a couple of grazers. Obviously I've now done the sidestepping on this one. Fortunately, having a bit too much fun about 8 weeks ago and put her on the side. I'm not saying that contributed to her decline. I mean, at the end of the day, she's done probably excess of 2,000 miles since that little fall. And it wasn't a massive amount of speed, but we all live and learn, don't we? So, yeah, obviously in this video, it's just I'm going to obviously talk about this, about the journey, the final journey with Rita, and try and bring this one back. It just makes more sense, doesn't it? You know what I mean? 75,000 miles, constantly chucking money at it, 21,000. It really does make sense, even though it is painful. It is, I know you might think it's stupid, but it is painful for me to want to strip this bike. But needs must, and it's got to be done. But obviously I'm documenting this as part of my journey with my Forzas, and for the people that generally like to follow my journey with Rita, the rebuild Forza, the whole series. End of the day, some people are not interested, but I like to document it, and I like to look back and say, yeah, that happened, yeah, I did that. And if I've got that on video, it's good for my moral support at least. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of them. As what I will do, I'll move you around on the stand, and I will show you bits with Rita, and just obviously reintroduce you to the newer Forza. So obviously you've probably never seen much on Rita, but if you've ever watched the forums, or if you've not, you know, as I was saying, she's had new forks. I put this 2018 onwards fender on, and that will go onto this bike because I do like that fender. It's just it's a whole lot better. I mean, it hangs down the bottom, it stops all the spray into this area here, and things like that. Let me see if I can switch a light on for you. It staves all the spray into there, into your stem and whatnot. But I mean, let's just have a look at Rita, shall we, for 75,000 miles. I've tried to keep, she has been looked after since before I had her. Yes, she's got a few cosmetic marks. The mirrors are a known problem on a Forza, and I've had to cable tie them. Crack in there. Again, bunged up. You know, it's got broken here on the plastics with the constant times that these panels have been off, which is unfortunate. But what's absolutely crazy is this tiny bit of plastic. It's not part of this, it's an actual separate bit that screws onto it. That's 80 quid from Honda, £80. That is daylight robbery, if I'd ever seen anything. Yeah, and as you can see, I've taken the seat tub out. That's obviously a rear clam. And obviously I have removed the radiator. So, I mean, as I've said in previous videos, you know, you've got your radiator, your thermostat, I'm just trying to look, is there, and I reckon it could be that, or you've got this here, which is your water pump. Now, I believe I may have second-hand parts somewhere to have done it, and push come to a shove, had the other bike not turned up, maybe I'd have to have been forced to do that. But, you know, how far do you keep going with it, you know what I mean? And the problem is, I spoke to Honda the other day because this water pump here, now, technically you don't need the outer cover, you know. If you want to change the water pump, you just need a new gasket and the main bit inside the impeller. Now, can you buy that impeller separately? You know, the inner bit? No, you've got to buy the entire lot. So that entire new water pump's nearly £200. So that almost renders it obsolete. I mean, if you was to look at the whole parts, a brand new radiator from Honda's 300 quid, probably £100 on a thermostat, coolant temperature sensor. You know, and the thing is, you say to yourself, well, why would you want to change that if it's just thermostat? You know, at 75,000 miles, they've all took an equal amount of wear. And that's what you would generally do. But, on the other side of things, it's probably £700 worth of new parts. It's not worth putting that sort of money into a 75,000 mile 2017 Honda Forza. You know, if you only had this, it'd probably be worth doing. But, as I say, I mean, yeah, okay, she's got some surface rust, like any scooter. You know, it just gets trapped with muck, as you can see. And I have tried to keep it clean. You know, obviously, my seat cable had broke from the time I pulled it too much. Story of my life. But, you know, there's other things I said to myself, you know, now, if I was going to have gone this far with it, it's like, well, what do I do? You know, do I take the head cover off, check the timing? It's 75,000 miles. Do I put a new fuel injector in it? Do I put a new fuel pump in it? You know, and the problem is, you could get to all that and it could throw the chain, or it could throw a rod. So, you can see why. It's just, you know, it's a great engine and it still works, you know, but it just needs time and money spending on it. So, as we were saying, going back to 21,000 mile Forza. Now the frame this is actually sat on is registered as black, so this clamshell will come off and Rita's bodywork will go onto it. So in some ways or another she is sacrificing her own life for this, but why not? You know, it genuinely makes sense. Yes, it looks a bit of a mess at the minute. You know, the handlebars are strewn everywhere. And it's almost there. It really is. It's almost there. It might seem a lot to some people, but you know, you've got your drivetrain, you put that in, that's that complete. Yes, it needs its lower trims, seat fixing into it, you know, front end fixing on, all stuff like that. But it's nothing that can't be fixed. It's just a shame. Yeah, well, I suppose if you got the money and you were foolish enough, you could do it with Rita, but no, it's not worth it. You know, it is time to move on and get this one on the road. So I'll just switch around to you. So my question is now, sorry, I'm waiting for my autofocus. So my question is now, what do I do? I've got 3 Forzas, or 3.5, and you can only ever ride one. Now, the one I'm currently riding is around 32,000 miles. That's good. So, you know, it's still low mileage for a Forza, as well as you've seen there with Rita. Then obviously we've got this one here with 21. So I'm in 6 and 7s. Do I have 2 bikes? One as a backup, which sounds a good plan, doesn't it, really, if you can do that. Or do I move one on? Do I keep this, do I wriggle out the niggles with the 21,000 mile Forza? I'm not sure about that one. Rita, I mean, she would be good as parts, she really would. And I am considering any parts that I probably don't use on her to probably sell on. I mean, there is this here, obviously the original Cat N frame, that will be for sale. So I will be selling that. You have to excuse me, there's a very limited amount of room in this shop. So yeah, I mean, obviously we've got the Cat N frame, that'll be available for sale. I reckon, I mean, you can still do something with that, but that little frame, I think it took somebody 250 quid. I think that would be a good amount of money for that. But yeah, as I say, I mean, it is where it is. It's unfortunate it's come to this, really, but to be honest, I knew it was going to come to this at some point. You know, as I've probably explained the story behind Rita before, the reason why I got her. I mean, I got her at 53,000, and truthfully and honestly, I never thought she would last anywhere past 60. So for her to last to 75, fair dues and respect. And I mean, that is really the first major engine components that have failed on her. So, you know, you tell me if any Chinese bike could do the same as a Honda brand, I highly doubt it. They truly are. They are a brand to be recognised with, I will admit that. You know, I've never owned a Honda up until Rita. But yeah, I can see why people say that Hondas are good bikes. You know, or just Honda in general is a good brand. So yeah, hopefully in the next video what I will do is you will hopefully see a transition where what you see here will be there and what you see there will be there, if that makes sense. There will be some bits I'm not going to touch, I'm only going to take out the absolute vitals I need off Rita. So it'll be, looking at it at the moment, it'll be the forks, the panels, the rear clam. I might have another side, oh, she's got a side step, it's the trim. I may have trims, probably a trim off that side. The mirrors are nil and void, they're gone. But yeah. So again guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you wish to hear me rambling on, I just wanted to bring you back again, just to really show you the story, why it's been a couple of months since we've been on this bike, and you know why we are here today. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you do like my videos, I know they're not the best, but they're at least they're honest. They're honest videos or honest vlogs. So if you do like them, please consider subscribing, and especially if you like Honda Forza content, because I like it. I'm quite enthusiastic about the bike. So if you want to see content on how things are done, overall life of Honda Forzas, please tag along. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers.